got my mic on. I'd like to call to order this meeting of the First5 Sacramento Commission for Monday, August 10th, 2026. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll and establish a quorum?
Yes, sir. Chair Serna.
Here.
Commissioner Wesley.
Here.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Here.
Commissioner Gordon.
Here.
Commissioner Liu. Here. Thank you. Commissioner Katari is not here today. Commissioner Moak.
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy not here today. Commissioner Hassett not here today. Commissioner Williams not here yet. Commissioner Evans and Commissioner Guerra not here today. Commissioner Boston.
Here.
Thank you. And Commissioner Kravitz-Swartz.
Here.
Thank you very much. We have quorum.
Very good. Thank you. Will you please read our statement?
This meeting of the First5 Sacramento Commission is live and recorded with closed captioning. It is cablecast on Metro Cable Channel 14, the Local Government Affairs Channel on the Comcast and DirecTV UVerse cable systems. It is also live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting replays Saturday, August 15th at 2 p.m. on Metro Cable Channel 14. Once posted, the recording of this meeting can be viewed on demand at youtube.com/metrocable14.
Very good. Thank you. If you please rise and join me in the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Again, I'd like to welcome everyone to this afternoon's First5 Commission, and again, encourage anyone who wishes to address the Commission on matters on our posted agenda or matters off agenda. You're certainly welcome to do so. We ask that you complete a speaker slip and get it to our clerk. That way we can call you in the order received. And with that, Madam Clerk, our first item.
Item number 1, approval of June 1st, 2026, draft action summary.
All right. Any commissioner wish to make any corrections or comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, very good. Entertain a motion at this point then.
Move to approve.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Liu. And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you. Again, as was just noted, members of the public can address the commission on items not on our agenda. Brown Act prohibits our ability to discuss at length whatever issue you might bring to our attention. However, this is that opportunity. So, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on off-agenda matters?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, very good. Thank you. Next item.
Item number 3, recognition of Commissioner Dave Gordon.
Okay. Julie, you want to kick us off?
I turn on my mic. Yes. So as most of you know, I'm sure, Commissioner Gordon is retiring. Well, sort of. He's got a slow roll out the door, but I wasn't sure if this might be his last official commissioner meeting, and so we wanted to take this time to recognize all that he has done for us on this commission. I do have some things to say. I didn't know if you want to start with me or if you want to do the...
Why don't you start, and I'm going to make my way down to the podium, and Commissioner Gordon will join me.
Perfect. Well, then I want to start by saying thank you to Commissioner Gordon. You've really gone above and beyond the call of duty as far as being a commissioner, and just during my tenure, but I'm sure you were an overachiever for a long while before that as well. And one of the things I just noticed right away about you, we didn't even have the language of whole child, whole family back when I started. That wasn't a First5 thing yet, but you already knew that and you embraced it all the time and every day. It would have been a lot easier probably for you and a lot less work to not do the whole child, whole family, to focus on just early childhood education, but you've always understood the safe, stable, nurturing families, environments, and the access to healthcare and behavioral, mental health. Those are all the things that lead to successful early childhood education. Again, that whole picture of the whole child and the whole family. You had a vision for bringing mental health to schools, and that is going to be such a huge legacy, what you leave behind, the schools as centers of wellness. Incredible. So again, just thank you. I have to end with a thank you too. Thank you for putting your heart into your work. I see it every day. And for the support and the guidance that you've given to the whole staff. You have a gentle but persistent way of helping us grow to be better. You've helped me be a better executive director by your questioning, by your support, and I think you've helped the whole commission be better at doing our work. So just thank you so much.
Thank you, Julie.
Yes.
Do I have the mic at the podium, please? Great, thank you. Appreciate your those words, appropriate words to recognize and honor Commissioner Gordon. I've had the honor of knowing Dave for years now, and certainly in my capacity as a member of the Board of Supervisors and as a member of the community, there's a lot here in this proclamation I'm going to read, but as I read it, it made me think just about how kind of global your interest is, Dave, in terms of our young people in this community, and it's not just couched in terms of what what we'd all expect of someone with your title, but I think it's apparent to everyone that you've gone over and above repeatedly, whether it's on mental health matters for young people, as Julie noted. I've known you in the context of pretty contentious labor negotiations where we found ourselves sometimes on the same side, sometimes with different perspectives, but you've always been very fair. And I think you've also been very deliberate in advancing the mission, not just of SCOE, but again, of making sure that our young people are appropriately educated. They have opportunities for education in this community. They have an opportunity to live a healthy young life and extended life in this community. They have an opportunity to excel, whether academically or otherwise. And we've just been blessed to have you commit to the years that you have on this commission. I know Commissioner Moak, who I think has the record here amongst us in terms of his tenure, has a lot to share as well, and others will have an opportunity to do so. But I do want to get through this proclamation because I do think it attempts to capture some of the highlights of a tremendous legacy of service here in Sacramento. So again, this is a First5 Sacramento Commission proclamation honoring Commissioner Dave Gordon for his dedicated service on the First5 Sacramento Children and Families Commission. Whereas on this day, August 10th, 2026, Dave Gordon is being recognized and honored for his dedicated service as a First5 Commissioner since 2015. And whereas Dave Gordon served 11 years as a Commissioner and 15 years on the Evaluation Committee, assisting in the development of several strategic implementation and evaluation plans, ensuring the Commission's continued success in fulfilling its vision. And whereas Dave Gordon has been a steadfast advocate for First5 Sacramento's mission to promote optimal health and development of young children, to reduce disparities and improve outcomes for all children, prenatal through age 5 and their families. And whereas Dave Gordon was integral in the development of the Commission's Racial Equity and Social Justice Resolution, reinforcing First5's commitment to racial equity, diversity, inclusion, and cultural responsiveness, And whereas Dave Gordon, through his thoughtful leadership, dedicated 22 years to serving students, educators, and communities through his position as the Sacramento County Superintendent of Schools. And whereas Dave Gordon championed efforts at both the local and state levels to expand access to high-quality early childhood education, child development, and school readiness services. And whereas Dave Gordon strengthened the partnership between First5 and SCOE by advancing collaborative efforts that connect families with early learning opportunities, community resources, and services that support children's health, safety, and well-being. And whereas Dave Gordon demonstrated exceptional guidance, integrity, and unwavering commitment to improving the mental health and well-being of children and families by establishing more than 65 schools as centers of health. And now, therefore, be it resolved that First5 Sacramento hereby expresses its sincere appreciation to Dave Gordon for his efforts and commitment to serving vulnerable and underserved populations, and we offer our heartfelt thanks for improving the overall quality of life for young children and families. Presented this day, August 10th, 2026. So Dave, again, the floor will be yours here in a moment. And I just want to say thank you also, perhaps most importantly, for being a great friend. So the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for all of those kind words. A little embarrassing, but I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. It's been my honor to serve on this commission and to have a front row seat to all of the things this commission has done, a lot of which were unprecedented and extraordinary. The Black Child Legacy campaign was something that I know you championed, Supervisor Cerna and others here, and it was something that badly needed to happen, but something that in most places has not happened. But here it's happened, and it set us on a course to do the most we could for our youngest children. And for me, what the mental health centers of wellness is all about is helping our health system focus more on prevention rather than just treatment, because that's where we make the most profit, and our young people and their families make the most profit. So again, thank you for the honor of being able to serve on this commission. Many of you have become great friends, and it's been my pleasure and my honor. And I wish you all well going forward. I know you will continue to do great things on behalf of young people. Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Don't go away.
No. Yeah. No, you're not getting away that quick. You got to stand there and let us compliment you.
And once everyone's done, if they want to speak to the proclamation, you're certainly welcome to do so. But then we're going to take a group photo down here with Dave.
Cool. Dr. Gordon, or as I have called you before in public, Dave, and people are like, why do you get to call him Dave? Like, and some of that is because I've known you for 30 years, and you won't probably remember this, but my first job was at Prairie Elementary School in Room 7. That you do remember. Room 7. There's a giant library now right next to it that wasn't even built when I worked there. I worked out of the Healthy Start office. Healthy Starts that you were instrumental in keeping alive, growing, and supporting families and kiddos way back before it was cachet to do so, in some cases, especially out of schools. And your tenure there with the Elk Grove Unified School District was unprecedented. The growth happening in a way in that district that you were able to not only manage, but really persevere through and over to make that district obviously one of the best in the state and probably one of the best in the country. And that's because of your leadership and vision, what you did back a long time ago. And then obviously to SCOE, where we are so thankful here what you've done and how you've influenced this commission, because we've known that in our Sacramento County schools, we needed to get some traction. And it was hard decades ago. Saying that I'm the longest tenured commissioner is that's like the bad rash that won't go away. But a long time ago, you helped us when we needed it most to get into a lot of schools and help the most vulnerable kids and families 0 to 5 in our community. And that's one of the things I always have appreciated about you is that you, in an instant, you could testify on Capitol Hill about the biggest, broadest of educational issues, and in the next moment, 1 minute later, talk to a family with a TK kiddo that's having a hard time. And you do both with extreme fluency, and it is just incredible. You're always looking out for people, your teachers, the talent that is there at SCOE and in our county. And I just have always admired you so much for everything you've done for me, for us, and for all those families. I'm glad you have a school named after you. I think we all know that. There'll be a elementary school in Elk Grove that's named after him. And I can't think of a better way to have your legacy. You still have you got a lot to do still, my man. But to think that people are going to go to Dave Gordon Elementary, but Dr. David Gordon, W. Gordon, I think elementary school is pretty slick. So well done, and thank you for everything. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Moak. Any others that want to chime in? Commissioner Boston?
Yes, I am just so grateful I got to have a short time working with you. And when I first arrived here in Sacramento County, you were just very gracious and welcoming. And I just want to thank you for the incredible partnership that you have led with SCOE and the county DCFAS in particular. So thank you so much, and I wish you the best.
Thank you. Any others?
Yeah, could I just say, very personally, Dr. Gordon, thank you for being similarly so gracious and welcoming me and to the evaluation committee onto this commission. And I know before me, you were a partner, a conspirator with my dad, and I really do just appreciate that. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes, Commissioner Wesley.
Okay, losing my voice, allergies. I just want to say thank you for your work and, focusing on our most vulnerable population, because that's not always something that happens, and it takes really courageous, brave, and I want to say most of all, hard work. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Any members of the public want to speak to this matter? Do we have anyone signed up to speak?
No, sir, we didn't.
Okay, very good.
You do?
We do?
Robin?
Well, we need you on the record if you're going to talk. So.
Okay, I'm Robin Blanks-Guster. I'm Robin Blanks-Guster, and I just wanted to say I just really love working with you. I love the fact from SCOE that you've been around so long, almost as long as me. And I love the fact that you have always been willing to talk to other people, even throughout the SCOE district, because I did the Elk Grove SCOE. And I love the fact that you were always willing to give help for evaluations, to give little tips, and just being the great man that you are, because you are.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Why don't we come down here and we'll take the photo? That is yours, Mike.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
My iPhone 17.
Thank you.
My kids tell me I don't know how to take pictures, but go for it.
No,
Everybody good? And because we always have to do it, gotta get your little first 5 hands out there. There we go. Thank you.
Wow, I leave the dais for a moment, I get all these speakers. Okay. I was remiss. I wanted to extend a hearty welcome to our newest commissioner here, and our public health officer, Dr. Liu. Thank you for being here. Thank you for agreeing to serve on this commission, and I think you're going to find that there is an awful lot of what we do here is simultaneously part and parcel of your mission in terms of the responsibilities, the vast responsibilities you hold for Sacramento County in terms of public health. So, welcome. All right, very good. Our next item, please.
Item number 4, Executive Director's Report.
Julie.
Great. Good afternoon, commissioners, again. A short and sweet report for you this month. 3 items, all of them really great news. So I'll start with our CalAIM Technical Assistance Grant. So we successfully applied for a $150,000 grant to work with a couple of our contractors to become CalAIM billable for things like enhanced care management and community health workers. So the grant will help us augment a contract that we have with Health Management Associates, HMA, and they will be working with Her Health First around the Black Mothers United program, as well as the CAP Center for Safe Sleep Baby and Black Infant Health, and potentially reaching out to the FRCs for all of the Birth and Beyond home visiting services. So we're really excited about that. Our planner, Linda Fong Samara, made that happen, so she deserves a ton of props. I thank her greatly. So more to come on that, but we have selected our agencies and work begins immediately. A quick Parent Leadership Training Institute update. So thank you for those commissioners who were able to attend the graduation ceremony back in June, where we had 17 Spanish cohort and 23 English cohort graduates. We had inspiring words from Dr. LaWanda Wesley, and we had Commissioner Patrick Kennedy as well do a closeout. So it was fantastic. And we continue to offer for our alumni $500 mini grants so that they can work on their projects, because each graduate creates a project that they then implement over the course of the remaining 6 to 12 months of the program. And so there's just a small little example of one of the programs. We were able to pay for childcare so that moms in North Highlands could get together over the course of 5 months and have a mommy group, basically. It was really great. We have a really quick video to share on PLTI, and this is, I believe, Crystal Harding has created this for us. No, she didn't do this one. Okay, well, thank you anyway, because you have done so many for us. Somebody else did this. But check it out.
Stronger when we work together and learn from one another.
To challenge you, I want to see you in the Board of Supervisors chambers. I want to see you at school board meetings. I want to see you at commission meetings. I want to see you apply
Another fantastic year, and thank you all for making this happen, for seeing that vision and funding that vision. And finally, my last piece for the Executive Director's report is that a couple of us will be attending First5 California's 2026 annual summit. Down in Southern California, we've been selected to present on our Equity in Action efforts. And so we have a session, Equity in Action, how First5 is building trust, shifting power, and creating space at our funding table. So we're super excited to do that, and we'll tell you all the good stuff when we get back. And that concludes my report.
All right, very good. Thank you. Any questions for our Executive Director, Dr. Liu?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to invoke the newbie to ask, for the training, CalAIM-wise, is it only going to be for ECM, or will it also cover community supports?
I think it's going to be for all, the community supports, ECM, and CHW.
Community health worker.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes, you bet.
Any other questions or comments regarding the Executive Director's report? Seeing none by commissioners, we do have one member of the public signed up to speak on this matter. Crystal, you're up.
Peace and love, everyone.
Peace and love.
Hey, I'm Eli, Daviana, and Davon II's mom, and I'm here representing the Sacramento PLTI team. We had such a lot going on, and I'm really excited about it. On July 15th, PLTI hosted their second annual summer picnic to bring together all previous cohorts and introduce the members to the newest cohort in the community. So 25 of the 26 registered community members were in attendance, and each brought about 3 guests with them. We celebrated at Sealy Park, which is in the Fulton El Camino Park District, where families had an opportunity to eat, break bread, socialize, and beat the heat at the splash pad. We also had a chance to engage with other community members who were in the park and wanted to learn more, like, what are y'all doing here? And it also bridges the connections with our local park districts and what we're doing. So we're going to be touring all around Sacramento to check out our local parks. We have a lot of alumni updates. Many of our 2026 alumni have been really busy hosting their community projects with a range in themes around art, time management, technology, safety, physical health, men's support groups, and back-to-school events. We look forward to bringing our PLTI family back together again in October on the 24th for our Soul Family Celebration. And its theme this year, it's Colors of Community Love. I also want to highlight that we are doing a new series where we interview our parent leaders. We've had 2 interviews so far, one with Miss Elisa, who's doing monthly acceptance walk regarding autism and disability at the Natomas Regional Park. The next one is this Sunday on the 16th. And we also got to meet with Imelda and Vincent of Community Parent Advocates to learn about what they're doing, their impact and efforts in community. Keep an eye out. We are recruiting. Our 2027 cohort will be in the Galt area, Cortland, southern part of the county, and it's going to be completely in Spanish. So we're excited about that. We already have our facilitators ready, and we also have a male facilitator for the first time. But that's not the last. So we're going to continue recruiting because we have a few more males that we'd love to bring into the cohort. And keep a lookout for our LinkedIn page, our YouTube page, and I think my mic is cut, so my time is up. Please check out, you can Google. We're at the point where you can Google us now. Just Google SAC PLTI. All of the things will pop up. So thank you for your time. We appreciate you, and look forward to seeing you soon. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Any other members of the public sign up to speak, ma'am?
No,
Clerk?
sir, we do not.
Okay, very good. No action on that. That was receive and file. So next item, please.
Item number 5, Advisory Committee Update, June 12, 2026.
Great. We have our vice chair here, Robin Blanks-Guster, to give the advisory committee update.
Hello, commissioners. This is going to be short and sweet. We had our last meeting on June 12th of 2026, and we went over a few things. Lindsay gave the executive director's report, but we did a brainstorming session, And we talked about the different things, such as the family enrichment that was that we're trying to do, and that we had selected some competitive proposal process, and we had examples such as the playground, play groups, the arts and nutrition, cooking, and outdoor activities. So we had community conversations synthesis from 7 different conversations that we had. And that included 9 theme levels, services, and challenges. We went over a lot of that, and we have another advisory group meeting this Friday at 2 o'clock. And I will update you on the next round. Thank you.
Great, thank you. All right, any questions from commissioners about the report? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir.
All right, very good, next item.
Item number 6, Evaluation Committee Update, July 20th, 2026.
I think that's me, and you'll have to excuse me. This was a little bit on the fly. Carmen usually helps me prepare this, so this will be short, but the Evaluation Committee met July 20th, obviously including updates on various evaluation activities and program outcomes. Applied Survey Research presented a summary of a timeline for the General Evaluation Report. The Institute for Social Research joined us in person, which was great, and provided an overview of their plan for the Equity in Action evaluation. We also received the Building Strong Families final report from Applied Survey Research. And staff shared that Dr. Liu will be joining our evaluation committee, I think, which is great. Looking forward to having you. That'll happen later this year. And just a reminder that AJW Inc. was selected to provide data management services for us. And we were also given the update that end of fiscal year follow-up surveys by Applied Survey Research were completed. And that's it.
Great, thank you for the report. Any questions about evaluation? Seeing none from commissioners, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone signed up to speak on this?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, next item, please.
Item number 7, Financial Planning Committee Update, July 30th, 2026.
The Financial Planning Committee met on July 30th and established a quorum. The committee reviewed the fiscal year 26-27 revised recommended budget and 10-year financial plan. Staff reported that there are no significant changes to the budget approved by the commission back in April. Discussion focused on the fiscal year 25-26 year-end results, including lower than anticipated Prop 10 revenues, the resulting impact on the carry-forward fund balance, and higher than anticipated reserve release, and the Commission's long-term financial outlook. Members also supported staff's recommendation to temporarily delay the release of the $1.5 million Family Enrichment request for proposals originally planned for this fall, until there is greater certainty regarding the Commission's financial outlook. The committee voted to recommend approval of the fiscal year 26-27 revised recommended budget and 10-year financial plan, and this is item 9 on today's agenda. The committee also reviewed the proposed revisions to the delegated stipend program policy, which established separate stipend categories for community volunteers and interns, and a proposed intern stipend of $22 per hour. The committee voted to recommend approval of the revised policy. This is item 10 on today's agenda. Lastly, the committee reviewed the Commission's financial statements for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, and identified no issues or concerns. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Kristen. Any commissioners have questions on financial? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this?
No, sir.
Okay, next item, please.
Item number 8, Systems Optimization and Sustainability Committee Update.
All right, who do we got for SOS?
We did not meet.
Okay, very good. All right, and I assume we don't have anyone signed up to speak on this?
No, sir.
Okay, next item.
Item number 9, Public Hearing, Approval of the Fiscal Year 2026 to 27 Revised Financial Budget and 10-Year Financial Plan.
Okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, Chair and Commissioners. Our first action item is this afternoon is the revised recommended budget and updated 10-year financial plan. There are no significant changes from the recommended budget you approved in April, and our overall budget authority remains the same. I'd like to first draw your attention to Attachment 1, which is up on the screen, the budget highlights. The revised recommended budget incorporates our actual year-end results and updates our financial assumptions as we begin the new fiscal year. The most significant update relates to our carry-forward fund balance. At the close of fiscal year 25-26, we realized approximately $3.4 million in expenditure savings. That's about 16% of our operating budget. Much of those savings resulted from the timing of contracts, particularly our equity and action contracts, which began later than anticipated. Those funds were not lost. They carried forward to support those commitments in the current fiscal year. At the same time, though, revenues came in approximately 10% below projections, primarily because Prop 10 revenues were about $1 million lower than anticipated. Prop 10 revenues have become increasingly difficult to forecast. We receive updated projections from the state twice a year, and recent projected declines they've recently projected declines from approximately 3 to 15%. So because we develop our budgets and implementation plans well in advance, there will always be some uncertainty between projected and actual revenues. In addition, several one-time leverage funding sources, including ARPA and the First5 California Home Visiting funding, have ended as anticipated. So after accounting for both expenditure savings and lower revenues, our carry-forward fund balance is approximately $1.6 million. While lower in recent years, it continues to provide additional resources to support this year's budget. So as a result, we are projecting a reserve release of approximately $4.6 million to balance the fiscal year 26-27 budget, compared with reserve releases ranging from approximately $1.3 million to $3.8 million in recent years. So it's slightly larger. This is an important function of the Commission's reserves. It provides stability when revenues fluctuate, and allows us to continue meeting our commitments while adjusting to changes in our revenue outlook. So now I'd like you to draw your attention to Attachment 2, which is our 10-year financial plan.
Actually, Kristen, before you do that, can you go, or can someone go back to the slide we were just looking at? Thank you. The First5 Reserve Fund noted in blue the $6.3 million. So that is, to your last point, that reserve fund is there to serve as a ballast, so to speak, when revenues come in that deviate from projected, right?
Yes, and it's actually the ending reserve release is the $7.9 million.
Okay.
So that's that will be the balance at the end of this fiscal year of what is in our reserves.
So maybe this is the inappropriate way to think about it, but if we think about our all funds budget and correct me if I'm misstating this, at around 21 million?
Yes.
Okay. If we look at that and we look at in any given year for, let's say, the last 10 years, the First5 Reserve Fund, which looks like it makes up roughly about a third of that number, would that percentage, that third, that 33%, would that, if we look back, would that have been something greater, something smaller? Is there like I said, I don't know if this is the right way to consider this, but is that percentage shrinking with every year?
It depends on the implementation plan. So I did go back and look a few years, and in the past 10 years, and the reserve release has been as high as 15 million. That's when there was much more money in the reserves, of course, but the amount that we're pulling from the reserves to balance this year's budget is higher probably than the last 5 to 7. Yes.
So, I think we've been really diligent on this commission for years to avoid cliffs, or however you want state it, to soften the blow, understanding that revenues by design are going to continue to reduce. What is the responsible policy in terms of using reserve in a situation that's so unique to a First 5 entity where we know revenues, again, intentionally are going to be shrinking each year? In other words, should we keep in the back of our minds reserves? That flotation device should get bigger and bigger, and we should pay more attention to that because uncertainties are probably going to become greater and greater. It's something very different than how we, for instance, look at the county all funds budget.
Right. And I think it's been a journey with the reserves. I'll remind some of the newer commissioners, but we in 2009. First 5 Sacramento had $100 million in reserve and stepped in when the county was going through hard times. We picked up all of Birth and Beyond and stepped in and took on a number of county programs.
Because we could.
Because we could. We had the money to do it. And it was, if it was a rainy day, it was raining, right? So, and we've made reductions along the way, as you've seen in the last strategic implementation plan period where I showed you. We did just stay steady for 6 years of funding before we're now getting ready to take another 25% cut starting next fiscal year. So we've really depended on those reserves, which didn't seem as scary when we had more of them. And our funding had been fairly steadily declining at about 2 to 4% per year. Things are very volatile now. We had already brought in had a 2% decrease already in the budget, and it turned out to be a 12% decrease. So $1 million more than we thought was going to happen. So it's just super volatile right now, and in what it does, and I know Kristen's going to speak to this, but we have a policy. The Financial Planning Committee created a policy about a decade ago, and y'all approved it, that said that we would never go below $3 million in our reserves. So when Kristen and I saw we were down to single digits, like we'd always been in the 10, 15, $20 million, and we are dropping down, it was cause for concern this time. And so we do have a proposal that Kristen will tell you about in a minute to help shore up some of those reserves. But for us, $1 million of unexpected loss is a huge, it's a huge amount for us.
That's kind of why I was probing a little bit on this, just because the proportionality of that life preserver is what's disconcerting.
Yes.
So. All right, sorry to interrupt your flow.
No, that's okay. So I'd like to draw your attention now to attachment 2. So attachment 2 is our 10-year financial plan, and our current projections show that the reserve balance will dip below that $3 million threshold that Julie just mentioned in fiscal year 29-30. And this is cause for concern. However, it's also important to emphasize that these projections are intentionally conservative. Future years do not include carry forward funding or any additional leverage funding, both of which have historically provided significant support to the Commission and could improve our long-term outlook. But at the same time, the projection does give us the opportunity to be thoughtful now about when we take on new funding commitments rather than waiting until reserves approach the $3 million threshold. So that brings me to our recommendation regarding family enrichment. So as part of the approved 2027 implementation plan, the Commission allocated $1.5 million for family enrichment under priority area 2, health and well-being. This funding is intended to support a variety of activities that strengthen families and provide opportunities for parents and children to connect, including play groups, arts, outdoor experiences, and cooking activities. To make up for the shortfall that we're projecting in our reserves, staff are recommending a temporary pause on the procurement process for the family enrichment contracts. This was scheduled to begin this fall. We'd like to wait until we have a clearer picture of our fiscal year 26-27 revenues. Given the uncertainty and our revenue outlook, we believe it's fiscally prudent to prioritize our existing commitments before taking on additional long-term contracts. It allows us to protect the programs and partnerships already in place while preserving flexibility as we move forward once we have a greater certainty around revenues. We'll continue to monitor revenues, pursue leveraged funding opportunities, and return to the Commission with an updated financial outlook and recommendation on next steps. Staff recommends approval of the fiscal year 26-27 revised recommended budget and updated 10-year financial plan. I'm happy to answer any other questions.
Thank you, Kristen, for that detailed report. Any questions from commissioners? Okay. This is a public hearing item, so I'll open the public hearing. Madam Clerk, do we have anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir, we do not.
I will close the public hearing. So I am in strong agreement with staff's recommendation. I think it is the prudent thing to do. I still have a little bit of a twitch from our June budget hearings, and we're going to do our final budget next month for the county. But I think as we're all experiencing and seeing for ourselves, not just this aspect of local governance and service delivery, but whether it's municipal government, county government, school districts, we're all kind of staring at an even more challenging time in the foreseeable future when it comes to our respective budgets. And one thing over my time on the board that I've grown a great appreciation for is making sure you have a reasonable cushion when things go south. And, you know, they will. That's the nature of the economy, but it's especially relative to, again, the uniqueness of First5 and how we're funded. So I will definitely be supporting staff's recommendation in the form of a motion to do that, and look for a second.
I'll second.
Okay. Other comments or questions on the matter? Okay. We have a motion and a second to approve staff recommendation. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez de Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Liu.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 10, approval of the revised delegated stipend program policy.
Good afternoon again. So our next item involves proposed revisions to our delegated stipend policy. So in 2021, the Commission adopted this policy to delegate the Executive Director to administer stipends for volunteers who support First5 committees, projects, internships, and other Commission activities. And these stipends are intended to help offset reasonable out-of-pocket costs like transportation, parking, meals, childcare. As we've continued to administer the program, we found that the stipend program supports two different roles: community volunteers and interns. And since each serves a very different purpose, staff is proposing separate provisions for each group under the new policy. So community volunteer stipends are intended to offset expenses incurred while volunteering their time. So these stipend rates were approved as part of the Commission's implementation plan and increased by $1 per hour each fiscal year. So when the policy began, it was $30 per hour in fiscal year 21-22, and will reach $39 per hour by fiscal year 23-31. It's currently $35 per hour this fiscal year. Those rates aren't changing. That's staying the same. Interns, on the other hand, are generally college students participating in educational and professional development experience activities while providing ongoing support to the commission. So the proposed revision creates a separate stipend category for them at a rate of $22 per hour. And this we won't make any changes to the other commissioner volunteer. That will stay the same. So it's our hope that this provides a more appropriate and equitable framework for our volunteer and internship opportunities. This has no fiscal impact whatsoever, as the annual stipend budget remains $10,000. The Financial Planning Committee reviewed the revisions on July 30th and recommended approval. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you again, Kristen. One thing I noted during my briefing on this is that this will, you said it doesn't really have a fiscal impact, and it sort of does.
It does, yeah.
In terms of extending the ability to make that 10,000 go a little further. So. Any questions from commissioners? All right. Madam Clerk, anyone sign up to speak on this matter?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, we do need to take action. There's a recommendation in front of us. Is there a motion?
I'll move the item.
Okay, it's been moved. Is there a second? It's been moved and second. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you. Chair Serna.
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley.
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon.
Aye.
Commissioner Liu.
Aye.
Commissioner Boston.
Aye.
And Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 11, approval of amendment CalWORKS Home Visiting Revenue and Expenditure Agreements. Number 1, amend the revenue agreement with the Sacramento County Department of Human Assistance, DHA, is in an amount up to $5,366,017 for the coordination, oversight, and monitoring of the CalWORKS Home Visiting Program for the term beginning July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. And number 2, amend the expenditure agreement with the Child Abuse Prevention Council of Sacramento, Incorporated, in an amount up to $5,066,017 to continue the CalWORKS Home Visiting Program for the term beginning July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Boston, do you need to recuse or not?
I do not, because it's under DHA.
Okay, very good. Just checking. All right.
All right. Well, this is a happy one, and I'm especially happy that I didn't have to read that, Maria. Thank you so much. That's quite a lot. So this is really great news. As you know, we have been in partnership with the Department of Human Assistance for more than 5 years now to help them administer the CalWORKS Home Visiting dollars. And last year, we received a cut to those dollars that our partners in public health absorbed that entire reduction to their nurse family partnership program. We were hoping, we had heard that it would happen, that money would get reinstated. Not only did they reinstate what we had received the previous year, but they increased our allocation by $1.3 million. What that enabled us to do was to fully back fund, again, nurse family partnership dollars, as well as increase our contract with CAP Center for the birth and beyond services to the 9 family resource centers. So, in essence, the family resource centers will be receiving an additional $617,000 of CalWORKS Home Visiting dollars that will be spread out between the 9 family resource centers. And First5 has not accepted or not increased our administrative fee to DHA for the last 6 years. So we actually will see a small increase of $60,000 for the commission, bringing our administrative part up to $300,000. So the total contract with the CAP Center would increase to $5,066,017. So really great news. All of that we have let CAP Center know, and they're working on budget and scope of work revisions, assuming approval goes through today.
Very good. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah, Commissioner Moak.
I do think I want to. I'm curious if are we able to look across family resource centers and see what the metrics outcomes look like per FRC? And I'm not interested in pitting FRCs, someone that used to oversee 5 of them, and I'm not interested in that. But I am, like, in light of everything we are talking about, looking at, and having to deal with as time moves on, like, it strikes me that we're going to be in a position in some number of years, terms, where we're going to have to look at high-performing programs.
Yes.
And so I just am curious if there are ways that we can start to seed that now. And maybe that's an evaluation committee, my esteemed colleague who knows far more about this stuff than I could ever. But it strikes me that we probably do want to use these types of moments to explore the performance factor of some of these. Because look, again, having some experience, Tally knows, at a variety of these FRCs, some of it is in their bag. Like, they are so good at this, and there's some that it's not their thing. It's just like they have other priorities and other things that are going on. Totally get it. But at some point, we're probably going to not be able to be in everyone gets the same. Look, NBA, the National Basketball Association, does revenue sharing, and everybody hates it because everybody gets the same despite how you're performing. And so I just think we'd probably be in a better spot years from now if we are able to start looking at those types of things now with opportunities like this.
Yeah, agreed. And I think there's an opportunity even this fall when we begin the non-competitive applications, you all and the implementation plan that was just approved by the commission. We are going to be putting out a request for our continuing contractors to fill out applications to tell us how they're going to use, how many will they serve with the new dollars, with the dollars that are approved over the next 3 years. It is an opportunity to look at some of that and see if that model still works for Birth and Beyond, where it's an equal proportion of funding across all across all 9 family resource centers, or if there is an opportunity to change it up too. So I think we would definitely be working with the CAP Center and the FRCs in this new application period, because we have 3 years coming up that this could be something to discuss. Again, we had 2 FRCs that consolidated and came into under one roof, a single program.
Right.
Potentially that's also an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I think anything is on the table and should be looked at given the financial situation.
And just last thing, and I know, Doc, I think that in the spirit of, as we hold each other accountable, and we need to be accountable on our own.
Yes.
You know, you're getting as you said, a $60,000 bump. I think if I did the math right, great opportunity to use that for those types of purposes. To again, looking at our business out, quite a ways out now. We're having to look at it very differently now than we ever had before.
Yes.
So they can keep us accountable by us affirming that we can do those types of exercises and really inspect things more deeply than we ever have.
Agreed.
So thank you.
Commissioner Wesley.
Yes, I was just going to say on 2 fronts. One, there were some major advocates at the state level that worked really hard, and I want to give some props up to Children Now and some other groups and for doing this. And so my agency, which is my day job is based out of Southern California. And so we started hearing stories about some of our families who are in silence, not able to send their children to school for one reason or another. You probably can only imagine. And so what we're hearing is that the home visiting programs, and what we're seeing is that they're able to receive those early childhood supportive services. And some of the kids are getting learning experiences online, kind of like during COVID, except for different reasons. And so to your point, it might be interesting to see how, what we can measure if those sort of things are happening. Also because of the fragility around, access to Medi-Cal and CalFresh. We've been providing a lifeline to those same families that are sort of in hiding, if you will, or in silence accessing some of our services. So again, it might be interesting to see how we track that as a metric, without giving up their identity when possible. But just want to say I'm glad that the increase is supporting and going back to the FRCs.
Good comments. Thank you. Commissioner Boston.
Yes, I just wanted to share, I think the results-based accountability makes a huge difference here, going to your question, Commissioner Moak. As we're looking at all of our contracts within DC FAS, that many are hand in glove with First5. That is one of the big initiatives that we're focused on. And I don't know if you're very familiar with RBA, but there's 3 questions that we ask, and that helps us to assess whether or not we're getting a return on our investment. And those are, how much did we do? How well did we do it? And is anyone better off? And that has really helped to drive those financial contracting decisions. And I know that Julie is a big part of that, of the RBA conversation. And then with that also, one of the tools that I shared when I first arrived in Sacramento County was the hub and spoke model, which helps our money to go further. And then we were able to implement that model in my prior jurisdiction in our First5 Commission. And it helps to spread the dollars and make the family resource centers much more efficient. And so just a couple of techniques that I think have been successful in other areas.
Can I give an example of the hub and spoke?
Sure.
I think we're going to see that with the RAACD funding, where we fund 2 family resource centers to provide effective Black parenting home visiting services. I think those 2 are going to continue to be funded in the next implementation plan. They will be the hubs, and they will go out and work with the other FRCs, so that we don't have to cross-train everybody to do everything, but we can have expertise within Birth and Beyond that can be tapped into, and thereby, right, you're not spending as much administrative money and training dollars and certifications and all of that stuff across all of them. You pick a couple that are really good at it and make sure that the whole program benefits from it. So and thank you, Commissioner Boston, because she provided a little presentation on that, and it was very well received, I think, by the CAP Center.
All right, very good. Thank you for all the comments from my colleagues here. Good questions and contributions here. Madam Clerk, my notes here say that we're taking two votes, 2 separate votes. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Do we, so on, as it relates to the first action, amending the revenue agreement, do we have anyone sign up to speak on that matter?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. And I'm looking to council here. Can we look at both? Do we have to take separate votes, or can we take it as a single item?
I think if you acknowledge at the outset that you're
planning to vote. Okay, that's the way I'd like to do it. We do that often, frequently at the board of supervisors. So, but I do want to segment out for purposes of making sure we give the public adequate opportunity to address these specific actions. Do we have anyone sign up to speak to the expenditure agreement?
No, sir, we do not.
All right, very good. Okay, then in that case, thank staff again for the report and entertain a motion at this point. Chair will move. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and second. Roll call vote, please.
Chair Surnam,
Aye.
Commissioner Wesley,
Aye.
Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia,
Aye.
Commissioner Gordon,
Aye.
Commissioner Liu,
Aye.
Commissioner Boston,
Aye.
and Commissioner Moak.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Very good, thank you. Next item, please.
Item number 12, presentation, developmental playgroups for children with exceptional needs, UC Davis Health Mind Institute.
All right.
Fantastic. I'd like to welcome our, yes, please step up to the podium, our partner from UC Davis Mind Institute.
Good
Hi,
afternoon.
everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Dr. Mello. The slides looked different on my computer. My head was on there, but thank you all so much for having me. I'm here to just share a bit about what some of the funding has done in the groups that we've been able to run the past couple of years. If we can go to our next slide. Oh, sorry.
And it might be backwards, so just test it. Is that the first one or is
No.
that the last one? Okay, try the top.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so I just wanted to share about the developmental playgroups that we've been running for the past couple years for children with a variety of developmental differences. This group came to be something that I really appreciate is through community voices. So through conversations with families about what feels like is missing for them in the community, they shared that for kids who have developmental differences, there aren't places to take their kids and allow them to play in the same way there are for kids who are developing in a neurotypical fashion. So families asked for this. But what I also love is that it meets a lot of needs for different families. So for many families, but we all know that there's inequities in how these things impact low-income families, there can be a long wait list where children are waiting for services, and our groups have offered families something that they can be doing and a support that they can be receiving while they're waiting for those other services. And I'll talk more in a bit about other things that we've done to try and support families who are in that process. So when we were creating these groups and thinking about a foundation for running them, we wanted to think of something that will still allow children to play as they see fit, something that's going to follow the lead of kids. And just because they have developmental differences doesn't mean that play isn't still very important and that connection isn't still very important. So we wanted a model that would still honor who the kids are and what is going to be interesting to them. And so we picked a framework called Pivotal Response Treatment, which is a naturalistic developmental behavioral intervention, which is a long way of essentially saying we are going to listen to kids and follow their lead and let them play. And then really our staff finds ways to, through their lead, insert some opportunities for connection and some skills and social skills building inside of the play. But the hope is that we're using the motivation and the interests and the initiations of the kids that are joining. So that's the framework that we're using, and then we've really just adapted that for the families that are coming and the settings that we are in. So PRT was developed more for one-on-one in-home work, so we've adapted that to fit a group program, which really just looks like trying to find something that a group of kids are going to be interested in, rather than something that just one child would be interested in. So we hope that they're all going to come together, and then we can facilitate that play inside of that interesting material. And we're always trying to make sure that groups are meeting the particular needs of the kids and families that are there. So adapting each session based on what we learn in our intakes about the families who are coming.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah.
The part on the last slide about trusted spaces.
Oops. Now it's all. Yes.
Is there, can you get,
Sorry.
can you help out?
I'm not touching this. Either direction doesn't work. going backwards. One more back, I think. Nope, back.
It seems to have a mind of its own.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Delivered
this
in
one-
trusted
this one?
spaces. Yep,
Yes.
that's it. So I'm curious, the effort and the interest to follow the child's lead or the children's lead in terms of I assume the kind of thematic nature of play. Is it done both outdoors and indoors?
Yeah, great question.
And if it's outdoors, I mean, how will you go to parks, regional parks? Will you go to the American River Parkway? Will you go to a Kings game? I mean,
Yes.
where will you do all that?
Yeah, I'll share in a moment where we've been these past couple of years. But primarily indoor spaces, mostly because one of our goals is for kids to build connection and interact with each other. And so we're trying to be in environments that's going to help facilitate that. We're also always thinking about the safety of the kids that we're supporting. So have been primarily in indoor spaces, or if we've moved to outdoor spaces, it's usually something where there's something that's enclosed so that we can make sure if kids elope or leave group that they're going to remain safe. But I will talk more soon about where we've been.
Okay, great, thank you.
We'll see where we go from here. So this is what our playgroup cycles have typically looked like. We have about 8 kids per group, and their siblings join as well. We meet 2 times per week for 1-hour sessions each time. Our groups last for 8 weeks, but we have had families come multiple cycles. One family joined us for 1.5 years because they weren't able to find other similar services for their child. And all of the kids attending are ages 0 to 5. So let me skip to here to talk a bit more about where we've been. So in hopes of making groups equitable, we have partnered with a couple of different agencies, one of those being La Familia. So we spent a lot of time these past couple years training La Familia staff in both NDBI strategies as well as strategies for supporting kids with developmental differences. And we have been assisting them in running groups in Spanish. So we've been on the La Familia campus. They have a preschool classroom there, and we take one of the rooms of the preschool classroom and use their playground as well. And we have kind of an ongoing support for them. So we have one of our postdoctoral scholars who goes every week and provides ongoing consultation and supports. They're really wonderful, but don't have specialized training in working with this population. So we've been acting as consultants providing that, with the hopes of them being able to continue their groups in Spanish once we're no longer supporting. And we've also partnered with Sacramento County Libraries, and this is where most of our English-speaking groups have been in these libraries. So we have partnered with branches all throughout the county of Sacramento. They provide us a play space where they offer their play and learn groups. We just use those same spaces for our groups. So we've been in these library spaces and at library outdoor spaces as well. And we have also worked with library staff to train them in how to make their libraries more approachable and accessible for families who have kids with developmental differences. And this past 8-week session, we also had a variety of their staff members join us in our groups, again, with the hope of them being able to adapt their play and learn to be more developmentally friendly for the different types of kids that use those spaces. And we've heard from many of our families that they have really appreciated being able to come to a space like the library, a space that they have typically felt like their kids may not be as welcome. They now have relationships with the staff there. Those staff see these kids frequently and now better know how to support.
Can I interrupt again? So this is, I have to be honest, I think this is the first time I've heard the term developmental differences, which I appreciate. I understand, I think, the intent behind it. Can you give us, or give me an idea, are we talking about children that, and I want to be sensitive here, that are on the spectrum?
Yeah, so this slide speaks to that a bit.
Okay.
Most of the children we've served have had a diagnosis of autism, but there's been a variety of different kind of reasons families have reached out to us. Some families are just experiencing language delays. That child may later go on to receive an autism diagnosis, but at the time they just noticed a delay in language. And then that 25% other, we've had families whose children have been diagnosed with Down syndrome, cerebral palsy. One child had been diagnosed with a brain cancer at 8 months old, and a couple other families with genetic differences where their child was medically complex. So that's part of why I'm using a broad term, is because we're allowing a broad range of kids to come to group. And we also have been able to serve a diverse population as well. You can see here listed, this is the demographic information families have reported to us. And they've also been demographically diverse in terms of languages spoken. Our staff have been able to help support primarily in English and Spanish, but we have had staff who speak a variety of other languages be able to have more one-on-one conversations with families.
Excuse me, we have a question or comment from Commissioner Liu.
Thank you. For the designation of Indian, is that individuals from families from South Asia, or is that Native American, American Indian?
Thank you for clarification. My understanding, this is one of the boxes they complete, so I believe we're meaning South Asian, but Lindsay can maybe correct me if she knows that's different in. Yes.
Probably recommend collapsing it under Asian. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And so far we've completed 14 different groups. We've served well over 50 children. And we've had our 2 community partners, and we are moving to different counties throughout Sacramento in hopes of being able to serve families that live in a variety of different parts of the county. So part of what we're hoping to do is really bring this program to them and address some other barriers to access by being in different communities. And I'll just share a little bit about outcomes after we watch this as a little video. Is it just going to start? Okay, we can take a look at this and then I'll share more. Something I think is really special about these groups is they were actually developed through family voices. So families met and shared what feels like is a gap for them in community services right now. And so we're really making this a space where everyone's welcome, everyone can come. Your kid is safe here and can play here and can learn to play here.
They've given me so much advice on AAC devices and OT and physical therapies. So it's nice to meet other people that give great advice and know what avenues to take. And it's been just so nice. They've made her so comfortable that she just wants to stay. She looks forward to it every week, and she just loves her little friends, and it's so cute.
So we've been able to hear from families after participating in group. We do kind of some exit interviews with them to hear if the group has had an impact. And many families have shared that this process was supportive in understanding some next steps for their children, as well as being able to understand diagnostic processes or getting connected to other services and supports. So we always take time to walk families through whatever they're bringing to us as a need. So their kids are getting socialization through group, but families are also getting one-on-one support as they bring to us different concerns. And something that I think has been really special is families being able to connect with other parents who have a child who might be going through some similar things. They've been able to connect and share and have organized play dates outside of group. And this is just another quote from a family who shared that group just felt like a really good fit and maybe wasn't able to find services or places where they felt comfortable bringing their child outside of coming to group. And this was an email I received from a staff librarian who just shared that he really feels like we were able to use their space to create an inclusive and welcoming place for the kids and families that are coming to group, and just his feeling that there is a positive impact on the community. And like I mentioned, they joined our group for all 8 weeks and got to learn from us there. And so that's what we've been up to. We're hoping that we can continue these partnerships, continue to train staff, with the hopes of groups becoming more readily available for kids and families, especially outside of what we're doing alone, that these can sustain and be continued programs once our work is done. So any other questions?
Thank you, Dr. Mello. By the way, you have the coolest name.
Oh, my God.
So we do have a few commissioners here that are in the queue. I'm going to ask a question, though, of Julie. It seems to me that this incredible resource seems to fit appropriately into the mission of what occurs at our family resource centers. In fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, we actually have like play groups, bilingual play groups of some sort at our family resource centers. Maybe not all of them, but the ones I know of, the ones I've taken tours of, I've seen kind of these play groups develop, maybe perhaps more organically, maybe not as structured as this. But is this something that could be expanded to family resource centers? There's already a relationship, obviously, with La Familia.
So what you've seen on the tours that you've had at the family resource centers, those are the play care areas. So those are places where children can go and receive engaging childcare while their parents are on site doing workshops and engaged in other activities. But it's not structured in a way like this, and it's not intentionally developed for children with exceptional needs. It's not to say that that the FRCs don't have the space, and probably staff who are, like La Familia would love to have UC Davis Mind Institute come and work with them at their sites as well. But it is a separate and distinct thing.
Are the family resource centers being at least used as a portal, maybe to, if there's a family, for instance, that is utilizing resources provided at the resource center, where they feel like, first of all, that maybe their child needs to be diagnosed or needs to be seen to understand a potential developmental difference.
Yes.
Is there a way, if that was in fact the case, that that affiliation with the resource center could be used to kind of redirect them to the Mind Institute?
That is exactly what happens. So they'll get referred from an FRC over to the Mind Institute for this program. The home visitors and workshop staff and FRC aides, I believe they're called, they're looking for things like this, and they're making those referrals, and they're following sort of that decision tree that was created under SAC Family Connect to make sure that every family is getting, no matter what door you come in, there's so many doors because we're a very resource-rich county. There's a lot of doors a family can walk through, but what SAC Family Connect attempts to do is make sure that if they need something more than the door that they walk through, that they're going to get the referral. So I hope that you are receiving referrals from the family resource centers. Good. Okay.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Fernandez y Garcia.
Hey, Dr. Mello, thank you. To your knowledge, what other cities or counties have similar play groups? Is it something that's common, or it seems pretty unique?
It's my understanding that it's pretty unique, even from the families I've spoken to, not just through playgroups, but through all of the work that we do, even programs that make it seem like and maybe advertise that kids with developmental differences are welcome there. Once families have actually gone to that space, It has seemed that they're actually not set up to be able to support kids with behavioral challenges or communication delays. So families have been asked to leave and not been able to engage in those services. So from what I'm hearing, there are not many supports like this that exist.
Very cool. And I think having raised 2 kids in Sacramento County and being a pediatrician, spaces for kids in general where they're accepted, neurotypical kids are hard to find here. And to the point of being outside, our 100+ days, which are just getting worse and worse in the rain, it's really hard to find space that you feel safe for children in general, much less kids with developmental differences. So this is very special, and I do, think that expanding it and promoting it is going to be a very important part of what we do, what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Before we continue with other questions and comments from commissioners, to the point that was just made about the outdoors, Doctor, are you aware of a gentleman by the name of Mark Laver?
No, sir.
So, Mark, this is one of the great parts of my job as a supervisor, is like bringing not disparate folks that have very common missions together. So, Mark, I know because he's an evangelist. He goes around the county to find funding, to consolidate resources for these playgrounds that are for developmentally different kids. The best example I could tell you is Southside Park. And it's also for young people that have physical challenges as well. But I would really love to put you two in contact, because I think there's a lot of good work that maybe you might be interested in pursuing together. As many people know, I'm big on the outdoors, and I get the safety part and the fact that you kind of want to have a space that's controlled, that's you have eyes on and all that. But there's certainly something, despite the 100-degree days, not all days are 100+, but I think being outdoors is really something that more young people should have access to, as long as it's safe, at an early age. So that's kind of why I had the line of question I had earlier about spaces. Commissioner Gordon.
Yes, back to the first set of questions. Where do the referrals for your program from where do they come? Do they come from schools or school districts, or how does all that work?
Yeah, so we try to use our social media to make the public aware of when and where each group will be running. Primarily, our referrals so far have come from responses to those social media posts. The Alta Regional Center has been sending a lot of their 0 to 5 kiddos our way. SCOE has been a really wonderful partner in sending kids and families to us. And then as kids come through our clinics, if we have a kid who's the right age, we share with families, and word of mouth from the providers at our clinic as well. But we have been able to fill every group, but I'm always a little nervous right up until when we begin, so it would be great to continue to expand how we get those referrals.
Yeah, and what is the age range that you serve?
0 to 5.
0 to 5. Okay, because I come from SCOE, and this is a marvelous program. So I will make sure that our folks at SCOE.
He is SCOE.
He
is SCOE. Thank you so much.
Anyway, but congratulations. This is a marvelous program.
Thank you.
At Mind Institute.
It's been amazing. Yeah, thank you.
Excellent. So much. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Wesley.
Okay. I've been referring people to you guys for a while, but I think I got a lot of my questions answered. I was like, do you work with the school districts and then regional centers? But you do. Do you help with, once the families are picked up by the school districts or regional center, more so with the school districts, do you help support with the IFS or the individual family service plans?
Yeah, it's a great question. So far, no families have asked us to officially join in that process. Most of the supports have been more informal, where maybe the family's IFSP meeting is upcoming and they ask us what that is, or can we clarify what's going to happen. So there's been more just like general supports in that way. We'd be happy to attend, but no family has asked as of yet.
Okay. And then the last question, are childcare providers also part of the community that you work with?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Moak.
Yeah, just thank you. And you saying SCOE is one of the great sources of your referrals to SCOE. Not knowing that is just like chef's kiss. I love when that happens. Thanks for all your work. You have an email from me waiting when you get back. Because Chair Cerna referenced it. There are locations such as a Kings game where families and kiddos need help in an instant. And the Kings luckily did design a room in partnership with a guy named Julian Maha, Dr. Maha, who I don't know if you know Dr. Maha in Culture City, but designed that room intentionally to help in those moments. We also just about a mile, less than a mile, about 0.75 miles from here, are building a new soccer stadium to which I've reserved a space for a sensory room. And so having the opportunity, so it's basically, can I ask for your help and in that space. Our partnership with UC Davis has been terrific and would love to discuss that more. But thank you, more than anything, thank you for being, and thank you for connecting all the amazing dots and for the presentation today. Just spectacular work. Really.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. And always happy to connect about inclusive spaces. Thank you.
Commissioner Liu.
Thank you so much. This is very exciting. So I'm the health officer and public health division director. So my first question, I have two, is do you get referrals from the public health division?
Currently, no. That would be great.
Oh, why? Okay. We're going to be sending, I already wrote down your email, just like Commissioner Smoke. My
Love it.
My second question is, do these kiddos and their families, do they have transportation challenges?
Yeah, thank you for that question. Yes, they do have transportation challenges, and that is one of the reasons that we're moving throughout the county in hopes of at some point being close to families that would love to attend, but transportation is an issue. It's part of the reason that we are intentionally not hosting these groups at the Mine Institute, which would be so easy for us, but we're the ones who are going into the community. Obviously, we can't be in too many places at one time, but so far we've served, I think, 6 or 7 different area codes, and we'll continue to move. That's one of the barriers we're hoping to address by moving to different county libraries. And I've also talked about, I think into the grant, there's funds written to help families with transportation costs. So far, no families have reached out to us sharing that that's a need, but we do have funds should that come up, and would love to continue to address that barrier in accessibility.
Yeah. Something to explore, Julie, is if a Medi-Cal covered services, if this becomes a Medi-Cal covered services, the Medi-Cal managed care plans are obligated to provide transportation.
Thank you. Great.
I bet you didn't realize you were going to get all the.
This is amazing. I'm so happy.
I was just going to pile on top too. It's like I also serve on the Regional Transit Board of Directors. So let's talk.
Fantastic.
So you have all this great conversation about how referrals and what is your capacity? I mean, how much of this can you do currently?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think in the grant, it's specified that we run for 48 weeks of the year, which I think ends up being about 8 weeks, 8 groups, so 8-week sessions. That's between us and La Familia. We are staffed by myself, which is a psychologist, and then something I love that we're doing is using many of our trainees, so practicum students, interns, and postdocs are using this as part of their training year experience. And so we're able to staff the groups with all of those psychology trainees as well as some of our staff. We also have developmental behavior pediatricians come to group from time to time. So far in terms of our capacity, it's been easy for us to be able to staff these groups, and the hope would be able to continue to do more so. Like I said, this is really exciting because getting kids to come to group has been one of the bigger challenges. So far, we've filled every group, but it does sometimes come down to like the day before I'll get that last email to fill the space. So hopefully this will help increase that capacity and we can run more than what's asked of.
It's an amazing program. Thank you again for the presentation. We do have one member of the public who has signed up to speak. Imelda?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. For those who don't know me, my name is Imelda Martinez. I participated in your Equity and Action Committee and also a founder of Community Parent Advocates. I would like to comment on the item because personally, it's very meaningful to my family. My 3-year-old actually participated in the First 5 Play Pals last spring, so I've had firsthand how these developmental groups create welcoming spaces not only for the children to learn, interact, and grow, but they also give parents the opportunities to build the relationships, gain the information, and feel comfortable and connected with our community. So as a mother of an autistic child, also UC Davis, my institute participant, patient, he's nonverbal. I understand how it is for families to find programs like this, especially with different children with different abilities, and to recognize them, their individual development, to be supportive, and for parents to not feel alone. These playgroups are more than just activities. They can serve as an early connection to trusted relationships, parent education, and essential services throughout the county. So I'm also proud to be one of the First 5 Sacramento's parent success stories. I began as a parent receiving support while I was pregnant back in 2022 and navigating difficult family court challenges. Since then, I've participated in workshops, trainings, leadership opportunities, and the committee. Equity and Action Committee. I'm now returning to school pretty soon, as is everybody, and I'm training to be a community health worker in training. So, and using what I've learned to support families through Community Parent Advocates, I will also like to recognize Commissioner Gordon. Today, I want to express my appreciation in your leadership and your service and commitment to our county and our children and their families. I also want to recognize Dr. LaWanda Wesley for her recent recognition in the Los Angeles Business Journal and to thank her for her leadership and her mentorship. Finally, I want to thank the First 5 staff, not only for their endless hard work behind the scenes, and I want my family to be an example of what can happen when First 5 invests in these families and their children and their parents. And I strongly support continued advancement in these inclusive, accessible developmental programs for their children with the exceptional needs and their families. Thank you for helping Sacramento County families feel supportive, capable, and also to stay connected.
All right, thank you, Amelia.
Thank you.
Real. Can I say something? Can I say something?
Yeah.
Just real. That was unbelievable. Like seriously, on so many levels. And how old? Can you come back real quick? How old is your little one?
3-year-old when I was going through PLTI back in 2022. And then my autistic son, he's a sophomore at Luther Burbank, and we're being very we're implementing a curriculum for sexual education because we don't see sexual education in our SPED departments throughout the, so I'm also working with SCOE. I have a trustee colleague there, so I'm doing a lot of work. I'm connected all around.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for drawing all that together. It was like, especially all the things we even talked about today in so many different ways, and this program obviously highlighting it and talking about the power of it. The interesting thing that struck me, multiple things, but now I go back to the spoke and the hub and like why prevention is so difficult, why we invest in it. Because like you never know, like this all was years ago that there was some level of investment from program and people and organizations and nonprofits that sunk time into you and your kiddos. And now look, but like we never would. We don't know that. You know, we don't know that that's happening 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. So like that's always the rub about prevention is you just never know when the story happens like this. And so we just have to be really careful about what we do and how we do it and the decisions we make, because imagine there wasn't one simple program that she decided and you decided, you know what, I'm going to check that out. Like, what if that wasn't there? So like, God damn, it's hard, but I am so grateful to have met you, and I can't wait to watch you continue to flourish in your family. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well said. And I too want to buttress what Commissioner Moak said about your presence and your speaking. It's very, very well done. So, all right. I don't have any other public speaker slips, I assume, Madam Clerk.
No,
that
sir.
We do? Okay. Dr. Mello, did you have any concluding remarks?
The only thing I wanted to share when you mentioned that your child was nonverbal, that we have not excluded any child from groups. Families that have written to us and said their child engages in aggressive behavior or isn't yet speaking or isn't comfortable being around kids, we've found a way to include everyone and keep everyone in group safe. So hoping to continue to be able to be a space for truly everyone. And
That's
thank you all
amazing.
so much for your time.
Great. Keep up the fantastic work.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Next item.
Item number 13, commission member comments.
Okay. Any members of the commission wish to make comment? Sure. One chance per month. All right. Well, again, I want to just thank our staff, wonderful staff, for keeping us well informed to permit us to make the kinds of important decisions that are expected of us. I want to thank my colleagues for their time and energy that they continue to put into the work of the commission, and certainly thank our public speakers today. Yeah, Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I just wanted to make kind of a final comment and just thank everybody for the recognition, but thank you even more for your fellowship. I've learned a lot from everyone associated with First5. My wife and I, we moved here 54 years ago from the East Coast, knowing no one, and I had a job here, and this has become our home, and it's a marvelous community, and I think all of what's been talked about here today, people step up to meet the needs that are there, and they do it not only with their skills, but they do it with their hearts. Lou Vismara was one of the founders.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know Dr. Vismara very well.
Yeah, and he was one of my mentors early on, and not long after I became the superintendent at Elk Grove. But anyway, thank you, everybody. This is a team is magnificent, and you will go on to do greater and greater things. And I'll still be around, and I'm around to help. Thank you.
Thank you again, Dave, for everything that you've done for our community and for especially our young people. Okay, if there's no further business then before this commission, we stand adjourned.